We are live. I'm gonna posting this out. So how are you doing? What'd you get up to today?
Oh, it's worked. Stayed cool. Stayed inside. It was really hot.
Yeah, dude, it was 100 degrees today, or like 103, 104 degrees. So it was burning out here. But I put on the air conditioner that I have in here for a little bit to cool down the room. But like 2 weeks ago we were gonna do the show, but we were both burning up, and we're like, you know what? Maybe not today. maybe today we don't do it. We had a little like mini heat wave, and then the next like 7 days were incredible. And then we have a little mini heat wave again. So I'm not complaining. I think this has been like the coolest California summer in 30 years. So pretty good summer so far for me. I'm not complaining. But you know what I did do, Tony, was this morning, because I knew it was going to be 104 degrees, I got up at like 6 o'clock and I went on my walk like in the morning. And I think since the last time we've done the show, I had not upped it. Back last time we did, I think I was at 4 miles a day, but I upped it to 5 miles a day. And once I broke the like 4 mile, sort of like limit that I would do, now I'm going like 7 miles, 8 miles. Like it's not just 5. It's usually much more than that. So this morning I woke up at like 6:30 and I was up there getting my miles in, did like a little bit of jogging, but my congestion is always so bad I almost end up throwing up. But I'm working through it. Once I nearly throw up, I'm good to go. So I got the jogging in after I almost vomited in public. Do you have that happen? Like when I never like before, when I was like never bothered with like any kind of exercising or whatever, I always thought it was like disgusting how people would just like spit everywhere when they were like doing shit. Now I'm like, oh, you have to, otherwise your body will try to kill you. I'm spitting nonstop outside. You know what I mean? I'm like cleaning up these airways.
I mean, that's your body's doing that for a reason, I guess. You know, it has to omit something. I don't really get that. I mean, I do sometimes in the morning if I'm like moving around and I just walking the dog and I, all the shit from the night before, just like do a couple spits in the morning as I'm walking the dog. But for the most part, like when I'm exercising, I don't really spit, but also like I'm in the hot yoga room and I'm sweating so much.
It's a different thing. Yeah.
Spitting doesn't really like. I mean, I guess I could be spitting, but I'm also like just drenched. So like,
I've been having some sweaty days out there lately because of like I'm pushing myself more. So like for a while I would wear these bandanas. I'm a bandana guy now, and like I might wear one for like 3 days. Now if I'm wearing that once, that thing is cooked. I might need 2 in a day depending on like the day, because like they smell so fucking bad after I sweat through them.
It's good. It means you're doing the work.
It means I'm out there making things happen.
I mean, you get on those LMNTs, or what's your electrolyte situation? What's the deal there?
So I tried the LMNTs. They're a little salty for me. I mean mainly I just drink tons of water, but when I do know that my electrolyte, like when I start to feel like I might cramp up, I'll do liquid IV still, or I tried these like Nun Sport Hydrations. Have you ever tried these things?
Mm-hmm.
They're like little tablets. They're not that expensive. Can't see it. It's a Nun tablet. They're not that expensive, but it's got a little bit of caffeine in it, which is nice, and it like fizzes up like Alka-Seltzer. The only problem is it takes a while for it to dissolve, but whatever. You got to listen to your body. That's the main thing. We always, here at the New Cool Meat podcast, the number one sort of male, entertainment podcast. We tell you all the time, listen to your body. I really do feel like we are the number one male-orientated podcast. The Joe Rogan of the left, some are calling us, We talk about all the stuff he talks about. We just talk about it like we're not dumbasses. That's how I feel.
Yeah, we talk about the same shit, and we're also unfunny like Joe Rogan. So
yeah, we're not juiced to the gills on steroids, but
No.
You're an Adonis. You're a physical specimen, even at your age. You're like what a normal person your age should look like. I'm, working my way into this new, to this new world where like I've never given a shit about my body literally ever until I turned 38. It's all right. I was 37 when I started, but I did turn 38 in the middle of this process. But it's been an interesting thing. Literally my entire life, I've never cared, and now I'm like, you know what? I think it would be interesting to just try a little bit. So I can start going on these walks. My mental health gets way better. My physical health better. People, strangers outside will stop me. I think you lost weight. I was like, I don't even know you. So how would you know? Like, because I see you every day. So it's nice.
Better late than never.
Yeah, that's how I feel. But
yeah.
I do sometimes have regret that like when I was younger, I could have just done this and it would have been so much easier. Like in every, on every level. But it's like whatever.
That's the one thing I'm grateful for.
It. Yeah.
I did all the drugs and shit when I was super young, but then I got super healthy and worked out a lot and like stayed working out, and I was grateful now that I did because like I feel I'm almost 50 and I still feel pretty good most days. So I can still do some of the same shit. Except for the gout, but that I love
the boost for the gout.
Yeah, for real. No, but I also look at that as like kind of maybe that was like a blessing in disguise because it got me to quit eating red meat and drinking. So,
true.
Shit needed to happen anyway. So,
yeah. Type in the chat if you're on a fitness journey.
Also, living in fucking bloodthirsty capitalist America, you got to take care of yourself because there's no.
I mean, there was a number of factors. There was a number of factors of why I started, but I think we had that conversation where I was like, dude, like I might lose my health care. And then it was like, well, I don't really use it anyways. And I'm super out of shape. And it's so like, do I really care about my health if I don't even like do the bare minimum, It's one of those things too, where it's like, I think conservatives have that sort of perception of people on the left that they just want to abuse it. It's like, I never used it ever. Like the healthcare stuff that I have, it's because I'm not sick, but I don't like now that I'm just getting older, like things are going to start breaking down. I should like try to put myself in a better position, Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're talking about people losing their health care. Just lost a friend of mine last week, and he lost his health care a year ago. He got kicked off the roll, the Medicaid roll, due to Greg Gianforte, and he wasn't able to get his
bitch. Greg Gianforte. Let me make sure I get this right. Yeah. That's for Greg. You're a bitch, Greg.
So my friend, he was disabled, so he needed Medicaid for his blood pressure medication and checkups, and he lost it because he was in that window where he made too much to, disqualify for that. But he didn't make enough to get fucking Obamacare. So
well, the way they means test things where it's like for everything, like for healthcare, for like any kind of disability, for any kind of like whatever, it's like you're allowed to make no money. How you're going to survive until we decide to give you those benefits is beyond me. And if you get the benefits, you better not lose it at all, because then you're fucked, which is what happened with your friend, which is such a fucking, nightmare. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened. Like for a year, he wasn't able to get regular checkups, and then he had a stroke last two Thursdays ago, and passed away. Not this past Tuesday, but the Tuesday before.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wasn't around last week, because all that. And R.I.P. Gene, man, you're a real one.
R.I.P. to Gene. Yeah, I mean, he sounded like a cool ass dude based on what you told me about it. Obviously we didn't have a show last week because you were dealing with that. I didn't really tell anybody why. I was just like, well, he's dealing with personal business. But yeah, I mean, you told me a little bit about him. He seemed like an awesome dude, and like it seemed like he was really beloved in the community over there.
100%. I was in the hospital with him he was in the hospital for like 3 or 4 days, and I was there for most of the time, and I just saw so many people come in and out of all different walks of life across the community just to pay their respects. And then we had his honor walk on last Tuesday.
What's an honor walk?
So when you're an organ donor,
okay.
before they take you into the operating room for the to do the thing.
Yeah.
And well, they take you off life support and they take the breathing tube out in there. So what they do is they wheel you down a hallway, and the staff and whatever supporters and friends and family of the patient line the halls, and basically it's like a long goodbye,
Yeah.
down a hallway. It's really sad,
Yeah.
as you can imagine, and it's really touching.
Yeah.
Well, Gene had, I was upstairs in a waiting room waiting for the chaplain takes us all down there. I'd lost count of like 55 people, and then that was before we went downstairs, and like I think maybe 20 or 30 more people showed up when we got downstairs.
Damn.
And the staff, one of the nurses, said something to me. She's like, "Is this all for your friend?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is all for Gene." She's like, "Wow, this is incredible. I've never seen this many people come out for one of these, show up like this for somebody." And he must have been an incredible guy.
Yeah.
And he really was. And his spirit will live on. But it was just, it was brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And I know, like, one of the things that you pointed out was like he had sort of touched all these like different sort of disparate communities, but he was like a real dude, like a cool dude. So like, it didn't matter that he was into like, well, he's like, you say he was like a vet, so he had like those kind of friends, right? He was like into football, so he had those kind of friends. He was into like,
yeah, that was like probably the lowest down the totem pole for him. Okay. He was like, he was a big time like weeb. Like he loved
shout out
like
to
everything, anime. He loved Miku music. He was close in the LGBTQ community. He had friends there. They were close and dear to him. And he also he liked some football. I mean, that's one thing that him and I would talk about, like the Dolphins, because he was from Florida as well. But he also wasn't like a diehard football fan, but he knew about it.
Sure.
And he was in the military for sure. But that was also like in his past. He didn't really wasn't a prominent part of his personality or what he was about. But he also did have some friends from that aspect of his life. Like they did the whole before the honor walk, we went down to the flagpole, and the vet, one of the nurses who was a vet who was taking care of him, volunteered to help fold the flag with one of his friends who was a vet. So they did the flag ceremony for him, and they folded it up to mail to his mom. So that was definitely part of his life. But yeah, when I was there, it was like folks from he worked at a pool, like a water park, and there's all these kids who worked at the water park who showed up, and then there was all his friends from like the anime and the weed stuff and the comic stuff and the gaming. He loved games. Like he worked at like a retro gaming store for a while, so he had friends in that community, and then just like his regular friends who were just like-minded folks who he cared about, who weren't part of like a set community.
Sure.
And he was an amazing guy. Like they did a memorial for him at the Roxy Theater the other night, where they showed a manga film.
Do you remember which one?
It was like something I had never heard of, but it was like one of his favorites, I guess. But
true weeb stuff where it's like I don't even know the name of it. It was some like
I don't even know what the hell that is. It was you know what? Hell, I don't even know what the hell this thing was. It was like a girl walks at night or something. It was like obscure. Well, not obscure. It was like a favorite to a lot of people. Obscure to me, but
sure. Yeah,
I didn't go because
we're not really weebs because we're sort of too normal.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Not normal enough.
Not normal. Right in the middle.
That's probably closer for me. Maybe if I was more normal, I would have seen more of these kind of movies.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like Spirited Away and then like shit like that.
You're the right amount of normal to have seen the right amount of manga. I've seen like one anime movie, maybe two.
Thanks, Adam. I'm so sorry to hear that. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Shout out.
Thanks, man. Yeah, he had listened to the show too. Gene watched the show. He was
which means he was part of the new Cool Meat family. One of the fastest growing families on YouTube. Which, by the way, welcome to New Cool Meat Podcast, the #1 non-comics podcast in the world. We don't talk about comics. We don't talk about politics. As always, hosted by me, Ramon Villalobos. And join, as always, Tony Grigori.
What was my last name? Say it again.
Grigori. The more I say it, the more it's getting away from how it's pronounced, actually.
Grigori. Just say
like
Tony
that.
G. It's fine.
It's my boy Tony G.
There you go. No worries. People are like, why? You know, like I remember when I first started putting that on Twitter, and people would be like, "That's stupid. Why are you saying that?" Because motherfuckers always either misspell my last name or just it's a mumble mouth name, and it's not like it's overly complicated or eccentric. It's just like for some reason the way it's like composed, it just doesn't flow off the tongue that well. Sometimes I catch myself fucking it up. Grigori. But yeah, fuck Greg Gianforte, that bitch.
Yeah, fuck you, Gianforte.
Fucking on site.
But shout out to Gene, that guy of the week.
Eugene Elzinga.
What's that?
Eugene Elzinga. His last name is Elzinga.
Like, it sounds like a manga thing. It sounds like a website you will read manga. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean that's tough. I mean that's always tough to like go through a thing like that. You know, we're starting to get to that age where like this is going to start happening to like people that we know more often. But I lost my buddy, one of my buddies, Mike, like a long time ago. That was like super like influential to me as just like a person, like like as an artist specifically, but like just as like a person. And I was pretty young, but he had MS. So when he died, it was kind of like sudden, but it was not like the craziest surprise. You know what I mean? Because it was like he had health issues. It was just we didn't know that one was going to happen when it did.
It's the same with Gene. Gene had health issues. It wasn't like he was healthy. I mean, he had like a really bad health scare a couple of years ago to where like we thought we were going to lose him a couple of years ago, where he almost had complete organ failure. But that's also because he didn't have health insurance and like he didn't realize that he was diabetic and had all these other health things going on.
Yeah.
And then he got into Medicaid because of Medicaid expansion, and then he lost it again because of Gianforte. So, but yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Gianforte. No, it's fine. I was
thinking about last night, Kurt too. I was thinking about Curtis. Yeah.
Kurt. Oh, my buddy. Yeah, Curtis too. Right. Yeah. Sorry, our buddy. But yes, I know what you mean.
But I mean, you knew him better than I did. But
if Curtis, if he had seen the show, first of all, he would have loved it. He would have been an NCM fan. Yeah. But he was just like the biggest supporter, like the greatest guy. And a similar thing when he passed, and me and Justin went to his funeral. It was like people from like this gaming world, people from the comics world, people from like you just saw all these different people gathering together to like pay the respects for like genuine good people. And like we've talked about this before a little bit, but like one of the things that I really like it gets me sometimes where I'm like I don't want to be a person where people are like, oh, that guy was a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Like I know some people will for sure. I've made some enemies in my life, but I don't want it to be like I when I see stuff like for your friend Gene or like Curtis specifically, where everybody was just like, man, he was the same way to everybody. He had this like great like sort of compassionate spirit and like an enthusiasm that made you want to do cool shit. Like that's that's like and that's how I would like to be remembered. So it's not how I am, but like how I would like to be. Shout out, God's working on all of us.
It is. Yeah, you know what? You can't please everybody. Like they can't all be Gene and Curtis. Some of us are. I'm sure when I go, there are going to be people who are going to say, "Thank good riddance, that guy."
Probably me.
Probably some people here right now.
Some people in this very call with you right now, probably.
But yeah, I also you can judge somebody by their enemies. So
yeah. Speaking of which, have you? And it's so funny because like so lately there've been like I've been working a lot, been doing some other stuff. We'll probably get to a little bit later, but lately I've just been engaging in politics in a weird way. Where like before, like last Trump administration, I was like way too locked in. Like I knew way too much of what was going on. And it was like really bad for my mental health, if I'm being honest. So I just read article after article. I'd be doom scrolling. But when we started this show, we talked about like we're really focusing how we take in news and how we sort of like ingest the fucked up world that we're now inhabiting. And like last night we were talking and there was like some stuff where I'm just like, I'm vaguely familiar that that's happening, but like, oh, I didn't know it happened today, right? Like I knew that they were redistricting Texas, but like somebody was like, oh, that's like today they're doing it. I was like, oh, okay, my bad. I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like where was I going with that?
We're talking about like how you consume news.
Yeah, but there I had a point before that, but yeah, no, like because I've been walking so much, because I've been doing that, like I really have been narrowing my scope of things that are interesting and fascinating to me, and like all like general news stuff, yes, but then like the particulars of it, and that's what I was gonna say, like this guy Destiny, the streamer Destiny, you know, because
I watched
he's
a
in the
Hassan
mix.
video on that today.
Yeah, he said,
So
"Judge me by my enemies." That's why I brought it up, because you said that. Where like Destiny, this streamer, this like weird little nerd guy who's like technically a liberal, but like more of a fascist, like literally sucks the dicks of like little
sucks
Nazis.
Nazi dick. Yeah,
He
it's not
literally
even
just
like
sucks Nazi dick.
it's not a homophobic thing to say. He just does. He sucked the
Yeah,
Nazi's
it's
dick.
not.
It's,
I'm not
it's not
mad that
even
he's
like
sucking dick. I'm mad that he's sucking
no
Nazi dick.
Nazi dick. Yeah, that's the yeah.
We're not homophobic. We just think like if you're
No,
gonna suck a dick, make it not a Nazi one. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It seems
yeah.
like a
That's the least we can
low
do.
bar and he can't cross it. You know?
Yeah,
He's such a little
yeah.
freak. But it came out that not only is he sort of a Nazi dick sucker, but he also was like, you know, he's being sued right now for illegally distributing revenge porn of like people that he got like images, video, and audio without their consent, and he was using it to hit on this other person who, it came out in a court document, is 17. Oh no, this one. What are you doing? That's crazy, dude. I can't imagine. Like, there are like levels of depravity that is just so psychotic in that that little
Yeah,
thing right there. It's just like,
yeah.
okay, he's doing revenge porn to fuck a child. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I
sliding
mean?
in a 17-year-old's DMs is bad enough, and we all know, you know, we're gonna get into that. But like, but then yeah,
No
the revenge
comment.
porn aspect, no comment. But the revenge porn thing is like, that's that. I mean, that's. I mean, I guess there's a next level, but that's just.
Dude,
You know that, and then like seeing that news about. I caught some news about some French streamer who passed away on stream, and it
he was
just
being
makes me like,
tortured. He was being
yeah,
like tortured relentlessly on kick.com, but in like, yeah, in France or something, right? Where
yeah,
they were like humiliating him and doing some like weird torture stream, and then the guy killed himself.
yeah, and like how they checked to see if he was alive was like they threw a fucking can at him or something.
That's crazy.
I watched. I think I watched our boy Penguinzo video where he talked about it.
Charlie.
Our boy Charlie, and it's just man, it just what is wrong with people? The internet has just destroyed generations of men.
I
You know?
really feel that way, and I was just talking to my friend about this of like how lucky I feel, because I was right there at the beginning of all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
felt like there was a real pipeline I could go down that's real dangerous. Like,
yeah,
I was even watching like atheist videos when YouTube started, and I was like I was taking that in, and I was like, yeah, like fuck religion or whatever. You know what
sure,
I
sure,
mean?
sure.
I was wave hella hard. And you know, I think there's like a general sense of compassion, and maybe listening to like Rage Against the Machine and System of a Down kept me from like becoming a full-on psychopath.
Yeah, thank you,
Because
Zach De
like,
La Rocha, for
what's that?
thank you, Zach, for saving Ramon.
Yeah. But like kids today, they don't have music that will get them into like a cool like place. You know what I mean? They're listening to the worst possible shit that you can, and then also being fed all this other stuff. You know? So like, yeah,
Yeah,
of course they're all fucked up. Of course young men are just like losing their minds left and right. Like, there is nothing good for them except for the New Cool Meat podcast, the #1 manosphere podcast, the Joe Rogans of the left, you know?
Adam says French police were like seems like a natural death to me. Okay, yeah. They don't. They're like whatever. They're smoking a cigarette. Like fucking. We don't care. We don't want to do paperwork.
They had the Pink Panther police guy checking it out. You know what I mean? Imagine if they did that to the Pink Panther. Nobody would tolerate that shit, dude.
I used to watch those movies when I was a kid with my parents.
I always wanted to because I thought the Pink Panther looked cool as shit, and then when I found out it was mostly about the French detective, I was out.
Yeah.
I was like,
the Pink Panther was a diamond. It wasn't the.
I like the cartoon guy. The cartoon guy reminded me of like the Cheetos guy.
Sure.
It made me.
That's why I liked it.
Cheetos.
But he was only in the opening segment, like the intro. They did like a little cartoon of the Pink Panther, and the rest of it was about the Pink Panther diamond and Inspector Clouseau, like being a stumble bum.
Yeah, that like, and that was Steve Martin, right?
No, well, he did the remake, but it was
he did the remake. Shout out to Steve Martin.
Peter Sellers did the original. He was
okay. Yeah, dude.
David Niven was in it. David Niven was like the cat burglar.
I was for the first 2 minutes of the Pink Panther movie, and after that, I'm like, this fell way off a cliff. And I was just sitting there waiting for that panther to come back, and he's nowhere to be found. And you're right. Apparently, it's about a diamond. Who knew?
No, I didn't like. Yeah, there's one line in there that I always
was out here. He would have solved the case of this like Twitch death guy or kick death guy.
There was a running joke in one of the movies that my family had, where he like Inspector Clouseau goes up to an old lady with a dog, and he goes, "Does your dog bite?" And she goes, "No." And then the dog bites him. She goes, "I thought you said your dog doesn't bite." And she goes, "That is not my dog." And that was like, that was the highlight. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I literally would just like watch it for the first 2 minutes and then just bail.
Yeah,
every
bail.
time. But like if it was on TV, I'd be like, all right, let's see it. No.
Yeah.
Boring.
Oh yeah, a cartoon, the Pink Panther. Is the shark gonna show up?
Wait, is the Pink Panther like the cartoon character? Is he in the Steve Martin one, or they didn't
I never seen it. I never seen it.
We should watch it. Maybe we should see if they fixed it and they're like, this little cartoon guy is the draw. The
I doubt it.
Guy, he's not the draw. The draw is the cartoon.
You know, I'm gonna say they didn't. I'm gonna say they think that Steve Martin is the draw.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Never been a Steve Martin guy, really. Like,
I actually not either, but I think The Jerk is really funny, and I had his book because it was like at the dollar store, and I used to love reading comedy books. And I remember there was a joke in it where he apologized to the NAACP for referring to their members as colored people. Like it was like the beginning of this letter, and it killed me when I was like, 17 years old or whatever. Oh, like, that's so fucking funny.
I can't ever get behind someone who plays the ukulele like that.
He plays a banjo, so
banjo and the uke.
Both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, well, he doesn't play a uke. He plays the banjo.
I think he plays both. Yeah. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just does the banjo. I imagine if you play the banjo, you probably fuck with the ukulele though. Like it's got to be like
you just do anything to avoid a normal instrument like a guitar.
Yeah, any instrument for babies.
He's out there playing cellos. He's playing sitars. He's playing slide guitars. He's doing everything, but just using the regular guitar, dude. You know why? Because he plays too much. That's always been the rap on Steve Martin.
You know what? And the thing about The Jerk, when I watched The Jerk, I was like, he's not really a jerk. He's more of a dumbass. He's not really like.
No, but I think he is a jerk though.
I guess he's a jerk in like the older sense of like what they would call someone a jerk who was like mentally handicapped or something.
I think it's switched where it's like a jerk is like an asshole, but before that a jerk is like, look at this jerk, look at this goof, like
a jerk off, look at this idiot.
I think it was I think it was a synonym for goof. I think
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
I think it was like I think that movie could not be made today.
Yeah.
People would call it ableist.
Well, again, also the part where he was raised by a black family and he called himself black.
Yeah, right. That part too.
That was a problem.
I just started rewatching it when I was visiting my grandma and she put it on. I don't know why. My grandma has wild movie watching habits. We watched Gods of Egypt, and then seamless transition to The Jerk. And I was like, I gotta go.
That's not a seamless transition.
Seamless, no. I don't know. You know how I am, dude. If I'm in a movie, if I'm watching a movie, like I don't bounce from one thing to another thing like that. I have to be on a groove.
Yeah,
And
you
she'll
stick to
just
the
be
theme of
watching
it.
whatever. It's
You know what?
anarchy.
Your grandma and I might get along. You know how I am. I'm
Yeah,
chaos. I'm
you
true
do that.
chaos.
You bounce around like a ping pong ball when you watch movies, dude.
Like a real jerk.
Yeah. The old school definition. The 1970s jerk. I thought it was like a soda jerk at first because I felt like he was wearing like soda jerk clothes, but I don't think he ever has that job.
No, I think that's the uniform when he was working at the gas station.
Yeah, that's the gas station uniform.
Yeah.
I bet people got confused back then.
Yeah.
Because uniforms for soda jerks, gas station attendants, milkmen were the same
Very
thing.
similar. Yeah.
There's like
Very similar.
You could like seamlessly transition from one job to the next without really thinking about it.
You know, milkman, that's a profession that'll never happen again. That's like a job that's gone.
Not with Trumpflation. Milk is too expensive.
It's true, yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't know because I don't drink it, but I'm assuming it's very expensive.
Adam says that's a hell of a whiplash. Yeah, it's
yeah. I really do like going to my family's houses and like talking to them when they're about to like put on a movie, because it's like everybody when they're about to like everybody gets fed movies through like their own special algorithms based on like one thing that you've seen. So like ours are chaotic. Like actually my Amazon Prime is really good. My Amazon Prime must be where I watch classy movies, because every time I log in there it's like, oh, I do want to watch that like movie from the 60s, you know? But like Tubi and every other service that I have, it's like you want to watch like a true crime documentary or like some shitty, you know, sex comedy from the 70s. Or like, and I do want to watch these things, but they're like, it's just like, or you want to watch like Tomb Raider, you know? Like it's just all over the place. But like when I go to my parents' house, they're not like, they don't watch movies because they're like interested in a director or like a type of movie. They just want to be entertained for like an hour and a half and then be done with it, right? So when I go over there, they put on this movie with like it was called The Yes Day, and it was with Jennifer Garner, and she had some Latino husband, and it might have been Junio Darbez, but I'm not sure.
not familiar with him.
I'm only familiar because I think he might have tried to option one of our comics one time, and we said no. But I think that it might be that guy. And every time I see that guy in things, which I'm not sure if this was him, but every time I see that guy in something, I'm always like, could have been me. Could have been my money that I'm seeing on that screen. But it's okay. Anyways, in this movie, the only notable thing about it was that Jennifer Garner's daughter was fucking what's her name? Jenna Ortega. Like the Wednesday girl and the girl from like the Scream movies. And
we stand her. She's cool.
I love her. Yeah, she's, you know, she said free Palestine. So, you know, we love her.
Yeah.
And, she's also a Deftones fan. When she did the Screams, when she was promoting Scream, she was like, if I could put one song in this movie, it would be a Deftones song. And I said at that point, I will die for her. There will never be a bad word spoken about her in my presence. Which brings me to when I was watching this with my stepdad, and my stepdad starts telling me that she's dating Tommy Lee Jones.
Fucking psychotic.
It was so wild, dude. And at first too, he was going like, who is she dating? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't really give a shit, you know? But he's like, no, I saw it on TikTok. She's dating somebody like old. And I'm like, who's she dating? And he's like, you know, he was in Men in Black. And I was like, well, I know he doesn't mean Will Smith because he would not forget that name. I was like, Josh Brolin? Like, are you like a Chris Hemsworth maybe? You know, like, I don't know, like maybe a new Men in Black guy. Like
Rosario Dawson?
Rosario Dawson? And he goes, no, the old guy. And I was like, Tommy Lee Jones? He's like, yeah. I was like, you're out of your fucking mind, dude. And like the way he said it with like so much confidence, like, no, she is dating him. I was like, why would you say that? He goes, I saw it on TikTok. So then like I just Googled, I didn't even Google like her and him. I just Googled who is Jenna Ortega dating. And like a list of people who people are like, maybe she's dating this guy, maybe she's dating that guy. But one person that nobody said was Tommy Lee Jones, except for like my stepdad, who like pulled up his TikTok and then showed me the fakest like AI generated thing where like it took a picture of them standing together and like kind of animated it. And then there was like an ad playing over it. And then there's like a fake AI voice going like, Jenna Ortega was spotted with Tommy Lee Jones, and like talk about how they're like fucking. And I'm like, this is crazy, dude. This is crazy because like they like what ended up happening is they're in a movie together.
Sure.
So like they were on a red carpet together. At some point they took a photo next to each other, and somebody thought, okay, I'll just say they're fucking, make a little AI video and trick a ton of like Gen X boomer motherfuckers to like believe it's real because people have no media literacy now. I don't know. I really have 50s, no clue.
60s,
probably, yeah. But he's like, he was so bought into this idea.
That's hilarious.
And like kind of telling me like I had to prove him wrong. Like I had to prove the negative. Like I had to prove that she's not dating Tommy Lee Jones. And I'm like, how do I do that? Like fair play. Like I can't dispute that. Like I don't know for 100% certainty that there's nothing going on between Jenna Ortega and Tommy Lee Jones.
And a 100-year-old man.
Fairly, yeah. Like maybe one of the hottest actresses in Hollywood right now is dating an 80-year-old guy who was like, you know, in Rolling Thunder. Maybe she's dating him because she loved him in Jackson County Jail.
Is that the one where he was in the prison where we watched? Where he
yeah, the one that you watched where he was in the prison. And, no one was fucking with it but me. But
no, I thought that was all right. It wasn't a fucking
it wasn't
Dust Till Dawn
movie of the year. It wasn't.
It wasn't Dust Till Dawn 3 situation or whatever that was.
Oh, I stand by Dust Till Dawn 3. Hangman's Daughter.
Yeah, that's crazy that he believed that. But I guess this goes to show that like some people just will consume anything and believe it. They don't even think twice.
Yeah, but like I think the key there is like where people are getting their information from. You know, like if you get it from AI videos on TikTok where you see the headline, then you're bound to believe anything. And like I think as society we've just eroded away any sense of like maybe that's not true. Maybe I should double check that. Like weirdly, people are like distrustful of authority and also completely trustful of authority at all times.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, I'm not going to take a vaccine because like, what do they know? But also, Jenna Ortega's fucking Tommy Lee Jones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it all depends on who's the authority telling him it. If it's someone who like wears the color tie that they believe, or like,
if it's a nameless, faceless TikTok voice, it can't lie to me. Must be true.
Also, your stepdad's way too old to be on TikTok. I gotta say, like,
dude,
he should not be on it.
I know, but you know, a lot of old people are on TikTok.
I know it's a problem.
More than you would think.
That's a problem.
I don't think anybody belongs on TikTok because it's owned by China.
No, we love China.
Oh yeah, shout to China. Yeah. Well, we're ready for the great Chinese century. Yep. China, if you're listening, sponsor this show, the #1 male-centric podcast. Like,
you know what, China? Fuck Daryl Morey. I'm with you. You know?
My boy Steph Curry was just in China doing big things. I loved it. They had this. I saw him in China, and they had all these drones behind him doing like the night, and it was like the things that China does for like American athletes and stuff. You know, it's like it must be the coolest thing ever to go to China as a basketball player because it's like you are a god, or I show speed.
Yeah. When Jimmy Butler went over there, they made him feel like he's a superstar or some kind of great player when he isn't.
He is. Like, how dare you?
Yeah, China, we fuck with you. We love you. Please.
Yeah. We're getting TikToks.
I get a TikTok.
We're getting on TikTok. This is now a TikTok podcast.
Yep.
But speaking of media sources that people are ingesting now, I wanted to take some time to talk about two women who we were ahead of the curb on.
Oh wow, we're talking about
so hard. I have an article here on Yahoo News about the internet is completely losing it over the podcast host telling white people who voted for Trump to go back to Cracker Barrel. It says, former Bravo star and current I've Had It podcast host Jennifer Welch is going absolutely viral for delivering what people are calling a read that will live on in infamy. I saw this thing out of like, so you and I, again, when we first started the show, when Trump first came into office, we started watching these two ladies on the I've Had It podcast because we found their antics delightful. It's like these two Southern women in Oklahoma, if you consider Oklahoma the South, which we do because it is. if it's these two women who just hate Trump, hate Republicans, hate Elon Musk, and will just like talk real grimy about them with like no real political analysis, really. Like we like them because they're also in favor of like anybody who's a fighter. So like AOC, Mamdani, like Bernie Sanders, they're like in favor of it because they're just like aggressive, right? Like they don't like when Democrats are not aggressive. They like it when they are aggressive. So like they don't really, I don't know if they share the politics of like who we share it with, right? Like they might not agree with all the stuff we agree with, but what they do agree with is that we should be fighting these people left and right. So this went super viral. Like I saw like our buddy Andy posted on Blue Sky or something, and I was like, oh, that's funny. Like they're just finding out about these people. But I was into the I've Had It podcast before they even had it. I was on them like when you were into Nirvana before Bleach came out. That's how I was into the I've Had It podcast, you know? Forget Nevermind. I'm talking about before Bleach came out, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like fucking B tracks.
This lady is the Kurt Cobain of her generation, Jennifer Welch. And Pumps is the Krist Novoselic.
Yeah.
She's sort of the base of the podcast. Yeah.
Trying to figure out who the Dave Grohl is in this situation.
It's just like whoever. He's kind of interchangeable, irrelevant guy. maybe like one of their dogs or something. It seems nice though, like like a dog. Who's the Courtney Love?
Yeah, who's the Courtney Love?
The eventual incel who kills Jennifer Welch. I'm just kidding. That never happened. Nope. Courtney Love didn't do that.
Don't say that about my queen, Courtney Love. I love Courtney
Love. Didn't she like? She did have that other guy killed though, right? The guy who like got his head cut off by those train tracks.
What?
I don't know. You know what? Not my business. I'm not going to talk about it. I just saw a documentary one time. I saw a very interesting documentary one time.
You know who you sound like? You sound like your stepfather.
Well, I watched the whole documentary, not a TikTok AI doc. I watched the whole thing, and this guy with an accent was very, very serious, making pointed accusations.
That's all it takes for you. Someone with like a little British in their voice.
If you're an intellectual like me, and you watch a documentary where somebody has a funny accent and they're telling you the truth, then yeah, that is how I get my information, through people with funny accents being dead ass serious about things. So it says, this thing continues. During a recent episode of Jennifer's podcast, she starts the monologue, "I've had it with white people that triple trumped, that have the nerve, the audacity to walk into a Mexican restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, an Indian restaurant, go to perhaps their gay hairdresser. I don't think you should be able to enjoy anything but Cracker Barrel," she continued. By the way, did you see the outcry about Cracker Barrel?
No.
They changed their sign and people are saying it's woke now.
Is there not like a barrel on it anymore? What?
They got rid of the barrel on the guy.
Was it just as Cracker Barrel? Oh,
can you hear me?
There. Yeah, now I hear you. You had a delay there for a second.
Yeah, it's just like they basically cut out everything but the barrel and the guy, and it's just this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's because I tried to bring it up, and every time I try to bring something up, my connection dies. Anyways, yes, they got rid of the guy. They got rid of the cracker. They got rid of the barrel, and now fans are saying it's woke because where they have Cracker Barrels, if you don't have pictures on signs, people don't know what the fuck is going on in this thing. They're like, where am I? A Jiffy Lube? Where am I? A crumble cookie? I don't know what this place is because I can't see the image of a guy in a barrel. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it just says Cracker Barrel. Yeah, well, I mean, these motherfuckers can't read, like, so it doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. So they're like, how do I know where to go if I don't know what it is? You know?
My grandma worked at a Cracker Barrel when she was a senior citizen.
Carmen's Inferno says more like Woker Barrel. That's right. It's woke now because they got rid of the pictures, you know?
They're taking the crackers out of Cracker Barrel.
Well, the cracker's still there, just like the image of the guy on the chair is gone.
Yeah, the cracker.
But I want to go back a little bit on this thing. Mm-hmm. If you triple Trump, I think like there's a lot of MAGA Mexicans. We've been over this before, you know, like way too many. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of MAGA Chinese people actually. Indians, I bet there's a lot of MAGA Indians too, but I can't like that. I don't know. I'm not as in touch with the Indian community. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of MAGA gay hairdressers because there's a lot of evil gays out there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of gay dudes who are just like those like overly tanned, just evil. Yeah, Jeffree Star types, Montana types. Mm-hmm. But you know, I get where she's coming from. It's like if you don't want diversity, then don't partake in diversity. I just think it's interesting though. Like just when I heard that initially, I didn't want to correct it because I love how she was cooking, but I was like, well, there's a lot of MAGA Mexicans. There's so many, and any Mexican that owns a restaurant and rather than like a taco truck, they're probably MAGA. If you have a business and you're Mexican, at this point you just think you're white. I think that's part of the problem with society. Mexicans have forgot they're not white.
What? Yeah. Para says Indian dysphoria is like Nigerian dysphoria. They all vote Republican.
Yeah. Like every whatchamacallit, every immigrant that's here now, like they got in before maybe the last Trump administration, they're all like, kick them out. You know what I mean? There's too many coming over. Like I'm good. Like burn the bridge behind me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do feel that way. That's a lot of immigrants in the country. Like
yeah, I mean that's generally like part of the immigrant. That's part of the immigrant experience in America. That you know, from
saying everybody else can go fuck themselves.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when my family got here in 1939 from Italy, and there was an Irishman telling them to get the fuck out.
Right.
You know, and then the Italians are like telling Mexicans to get the fuck out. And, you know.
Yeah. It's not, you know, we're speaking broadly here. Obviously, there's a lot of but you know, it's one of those things when I heard that, like I'm not gonna like I was gonna like quote if a different version of myself would have quote retweeted that and be like, I wouldn't be sure all these people were like, you know what I mean? Like some of those people are MAGA, and like I think sometimes when you just sort of flatten it and saying like MAGA is only straight white, like cis het male and women, you're missing a big part of why their movement was successful, which is like they're cravenly soaking up enough of like normal decent people that aren't those things by just like telling them lies and stuff. And if you don't correct that, and if you don't like acknowledge that, then you're just gonna let them do it in perpetuity, you know?
I think to speak to that, to I don't know if it's devil's advocate or just try to put myself in her shoes, really defend her in a sense.
Yeah.
That, like,
defend her.
She's a middle-aged. Yeah, she's an old white lady, so for her to call out like gay people and black people and Mexicans for their thing,
100%.
It's not a good look.
Yeah.
You know, so like she can only speak to like white folks.
And she lives in Oklahoma, so she knows.
Yeah.
She knows the Cracker Barrel audience more than me, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, because like I've watched a couple of their things where they talk about the people the circles they hang with, or they're around, or that they're in their communities, and it's all these white fucks who are like that. So like that's what she's.
100%. Yeah.
So.
No.
And that's
also, by the way, why I didn't say shit, because I'm like, I'm letting her cook. She knows this more than.
That's something you can speak to, though, the Latinos and the Mexicans who support Trump, because
And I have,
yeah.
So, let's see. And if you want to triple Trump and you want to browbeat DEI, you want to browbeat gay people, you want to browbeat black people as you've been doing for 400 years, and you want to browbeat this generation of immigrants that want to come here and open up businesses earnestly, pay their taxes, become MAGA. You want to demonize them and call them rapists and felons and all this shit. The felon is the teeny weeny mushroom cock piece of shit, Cankles McTaco tits at the top of the ticket. I've had it from top to bottom. That's what people love. They love the like.
That's what I love about them.
Insult,
yeah.
You know,
talking about little dicks and stuff. That's you got it.
Like, you got a little dick. You're gay. Like, it's basically like they're like, yeah, just like make jokes that like a teenage boy would make, but you're an old white lady, so you're like a god. You know?
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm with it.
Yeah. Queen. Slay queen.
Board. Yeah. Pumps. You know, keep playing the bass over there. Keep rocking the bass. This is why she's our Kurt Cobain. The voice of a generation. Jennifer Welch. You know?
Yep. I love them.
Yeah. She says white people like Triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. That's what we're about. Multiculturalism. Because I'm Mexican. And you're Greek/Italian, which is almost diverse.
It's almost diverse. I'm right on the cusp.
Yeah.
I'm Mediterranean. You can say that.
Yeah.
To that end about the redistricting, how it plays into the Mexicans who vote for Trump. That I was watching a Zed video, our boy Zed, and he was talking about it. And he was saying a lot of it is a gamble the Republicans are taking, that's going to maintain that like trend of Latinos voting Republican is going to continue, because this redistricting relies on that, because otherwise they might be fucking themselves by doing this.
Yeah, no, that's super true. Yeah. Like, you know, they just assume that the demographics won't shift in any way other than the way it is right now, like it's static. It's just not how it works.
No.
Corman's Inferno says it's so American that we're destroying our schools in medicine and healthcare because people got mad that there were too many black people in Pepsi commercials.
Yeah.
You won by election by making a kook Voltron. Adam also says that Jennifer's thing was poetry. Yeah, no, like it's not just the Coke commercials. It's also like, you know, like just, people just feel like I was talking to a friend about this, where like people have been so conditioned to thinking that like the way that the political like winds are shifting right now is like the way they're going to keep going. But I think we've reached the apex of like how far right we can go before we're going to start drifting back left, which is why this Jennifer Welch, why this shit goes viral right now, because it's like how much more can you like beat up on trans people, black people, poor people, sick people before people are like, you won already. Like, you know what I mean? Like nobody likes dynasties, you know? I'm a Warrior fan. When the Warriors kept winning, everybody was like, I hope they suffer. And I'm like, you know what? I don't. I understand. Because when Mahomes is on his tear, right? And the Eagles are fucking them up, I'm suddenly a fucking Eagles fan and I hate the Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, dude, when the Warriors were coming up and you guys were playing the Rockets in the first like couple playoff runs,
everybody was like, "Oh, good for the Warriors."
Yeah, they're fun. They're young. They're fun to watch.
They're young. They win 2 titles. It's like, I hope they die.
yeah. The minute you got KD, it was like, oh, fuck these guys. I hope they fucking burn in hell.
Them getting JD Vance is like the Warriors getting KD Vance.
Another worm.
Makes no sense. The analogy's terrible. I just like Katie and JD. That's it.
They're both worms. It makes sense.
They're both snakes. Worms. The analogy's perfect. I didn't even realize it. When I said it, I wasn't even realizing how perfect the analogy was, how astute an observation I had made. But they're both worms, and they both spend too much time on Twitter. I'm sorry, X, the everything website. So the clip
Yeah,
of Jennifer's. Oh, go ahead.
No. It was going to
Oh
derail.
no,
So go ahead.
you know what? The whole point of that though was like, yeah, I feel like we've hit this point where it's like you can only be so cruel, and like most Americans, most people are like, yeah, you know what, like that sucks. But it was like it was the opposite way when like like the professional middle class was running America, and like people were like, oh, like now I'm gonna get canceled if I say that like something is gay when I just mean it sucks. Like, oh, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like people were like hesitant to change, and now they're going to be like, oh, like wait, I have to like watch us like militarize, like burn a homeless person to death. Like I don't like that. Like that's almost as uncomfortable as me not using the word gay to say something sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just look
I don't
at
want to see that when I go get my fucking latte in the morning at the coffee shop.
look at Israel Palestine. Like look at how, like it was unthinkable that people would be pro Palestine like however many years ago. But things have just gotten so psychotic over there that people are like, you know what? Free Palestine. You know what I mean? Broadly. I don't mean like
From the
people like
river to
you
the
and I who
sea.
have a conscience. I mean people that are like just regular people who don't know or care.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So like you can only push suffering of like just marginalized people so far before normal people are going to be like, no, I don't want to be a Nazi, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
I don't want
even
to be
Trump.
woke. I just want to be right in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even Trump wants to get to heaven, man.
Yeah, and some people say he's the bottom of the totem pole. So the clip of Jennifer's passionate take made its way to X, formerly known as Twitter, where it's been viewed by a whopping 16.3 million times. This is the most savage takedown of anyone I've ever seen in my life, one commenter reacted. Well,
Wow.
if there was ever a person who had the right to free speech and chose to use it freely, another agreed. Someone said Jennifer gave a reed for the ages. They said, a reed
Oh,
unto the
wow.
high heavens, a reed that will live in infamy, a reed for the ages. Overall, she's being largely applauded by non-MAGA voices. One person said she's right. If you genuinely hate immigrants and minorities that much, you're not allowed to partake in any part of the culture that they've brought with them. Then it said you could watch her monologue here. It's funny though, because like, again, like conservatives, I haven't seen how they reacted to this because I'm just not on X like that anymore. Maybe when basketball season starts, I will be. You know what I mean? And football season, because I like.
Well, you know what? That Hassan video I watched, there was some shit about what's going on X the Everything app right now that was fucking disturbing. I don't even want to say in here.
Okay, yeah. Don't get us demonetized.
It
By the
was
way,
just
we're not
so
monetized.
it was sex pestiny.
Oh,
It was
okay, got
sex
it.
pestiny related, you know,
Yeah,
and it was like the shit that's allowed to go on there. Like I wouldn't even want to be on there just out of the accident, or you come across something that is like.
Okay, but what if I'm watching the Niner game? Brandon Ayuk goes down, weird thing on his leg. I need to know what's going on moment to moment. I can't do that on Blue Sky.
I mean, I found people who do that on there. So I guess maybe
I need to be on X, the everything app, to know what's going on with pedophiles and the 49ers. Which are two mutually exclusive groups. They're not the same. You know?
I don't know, man. We don't know what Nick Bosa gets up to.
Nick Bosa is having a political awakening right now.
What are you talking
You
about?
can't prove to me that he's not. What's that?
I mean, is there some legit evidence that he is like
he learned how to read, which I didn't think was possible for a guy like him.
An Italian from Florida? Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah. I saw him reading Chaos, the book about how like Charlie Manson was framed by the CIA. I was like, he might be on to something here. He might be awake, opening his third eye. You know,
slippery slope. Slippery slope.
Oh no, Keegan Ray says a one circle Venn diagram. Go to hell, Keegan. These are two separate circles, completely not even close to touching each other. No, but like, I feel a little optimism of just seeing how some of like some of the shit is being received broadly. And again, I'm not on Twitter and Blue Sky like that anymore. Like I'm mostly interacting with people in regular life, you know?
Sure.
So like I feel like I've got to set my finger on the pulse of normal people. Do I? Probably not. but I feel like that because I'm interacting with them so often, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on Twitter, and my Blue Sky consumption is like just work related generally, and then like
yeah.
every once in a while I'll scroll, but like it's
But you know, you see Trump's ratings plummeting, you know, his approval ratings and stuff, and you know, people are not happy with the shit, and like, you know, I do think that, you know, if there's going to be a dip towards away from that, first thing we need for happen is to Trump to have sort of a untimely accident. You know what I mean? I don't know what, I don't know how.
Fucking Cankles McTaco Tits
Cankles can
fucking
just
takes a
explode
fall.
on him, you know, just his body can collapse in on itself in like a sort of gooey
my God.
mush, you know?
Like an Event Horizon situation.
Yeah, like it's like his body just realizes, like, you know what it's like? Currently his body is functioning like when the Wile E. Coyote runs off a cliff and he's like suspended in midair. But when he looks down, his body's going to be like, oh shit, I can't survive right now.
Yeah.
Like there's no muscle definition, there's no nutrients in me. It'll just like collapse in on itself. He'll just like his flesh will just melt off his bones, and we'll be like in the middle of like a presidential address or something. It'll be incredible.
That'd be amazing. That'd be sick.
I want to be there for that, you know?
Yeah.
It'll just and his skeleton will keep talking for a little bit. It'll be like unsettling.
like a Harryhausen thing or something.
Yeah. Like his eyes will be wiggling around and then they'll fall out. he'll have tiny hands. Dude, imagine if his body just realized like, oh shit, I'm like really in bad condition. I'm just gonna like give up.
Yeah, I'm just tapping out. Done.
Yeah, forget it, dude. This sucks.
Oh God, I would love for him to die on camera. That would be amazing.
That would be sick. You know, normally I'm against sort of that kind of thing. Like I was never a Faces of Death guy, but
no, I don't watch.
Willing to make I'm willing to broaden my horizons.
Yeah. I mean that, you know,
like, JD Vance got no motion. I saw him go out to Washington D.C. to try to like, you know, do some shit, and like everybody hates him everywhere.
Yeah,
like he was there to give like pizza to the National Guard or whatever. I think even they were like, get the fuck out of my face.
No, if you can't even get love for bringing pizza, you're done.
You know how many you know interesting films we've seen where people who deliver pizzas get a lot of love. That's like a whole subgenre, you know what I mean?
Yeah. From your lips to God's ears, my friend.
Yeah. Speaking of Elon Musk, speaking of deformed men, did you hear about the U.S. Sorry, I think I'm back. Did I cut out?
Yeah, you did, but you're back.
Uh-oh.
Are you trying to bring up something again?
Oh boy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
I think okay, I cut out for a second, so it's like catching up.
All right.
Sorry, I'm gonna start this over again. Do you hear about the U.S. wanting to buy Cybertrucks, Tony?
No.
You want to know why they might be interested in purchasing Cybertrucks? Do you think maybe it's because they're like, oh, there'll be great vehicles for the Air Force?
That has to be it.
No, they want them for target practice. So the story goes, the Air Force wants to blow up some Cybertrucks. Hey, join the club. You know who else wants to blow up Cybertrucks? Fucking Cybertrucks want to blow up Cybertrucks, dude. Cybertrucks are the only cars since like the Pinto that have been suicidal.
I thought did they say that was terrorism a couple months ago if you did that? Now all of a sudden like the government wants to do it?
Listen,
like, what the fuck?
I'm not the one saying that the US Air Force is a terrorist organization. However, this is what terrorists do. They blow up Cybertrucks. It says it's looking to buy 2 of them to use for munitions testing, that they will likely soon start appearing on the battlefield per documents posted on a U.S. government contracting website on Wednesday. The pickups are part of a larger order of 33 vehicles for live fire testing at the White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. The contract stipulates that the Cybertrucks need only be towable, not functional, and their batteries must be removed. The procedure, the procurement documents were the first reported by the defense blog The War Zone. In a separate document justifying why the Tesla vehicles were specifically required, the contracting officer said that U.S. adversaries were likely to begin using the stainless steel-clad trucks on the battlefield due to their durability. What are we doing here? They are not going to be doing that.
Yeah, man. Of all the lies that the fucking government has said to us over the years, that's got to be the most fucking outrageous.
Yeah, we're worried that ISIS is going to buy a Cybertruck. No, they're not.
No,
they'll probably just buy one of the tanks that you left behind in Afghanistan. Yeah.
They buy American. They like Ford F-150s. They don't fuck with a real car, a real truck.
In the operating theater, it is likely the type of vehicle used by the enemy may transition to Tesla Cybertrucks, as they've been found not to receive the normal extent of damage expected upon major impact, the document says. I just don't believe it, because they're glued together. Para says, West Asian militias buy Toyota Hiluxes.
Oh, wow. I don't even know what that is.
Sounds like a fancy automobile.
Yeah.
The Air Force and Tesla did not immediately respond to requests for comment from Business Insider. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said the pickup was built to be, quote, apocalypse-proof when it launched in 2023. Last year, Chechen warlord Ramzan Kadyrov showed off a modified Cybertruck decked out with a machine gun that he said would be sent to the front lines of Ukraine. Kadyrov later accused Tesla of remotely disabling the would-be war machine, calling Musk, quote, not manly.
Shout out to that warlord.
So wait, why do we even need them to practice on if they can apparently just get disabled by Elon Musk from like his iPhone or whatever?
It kind of sounds like someone's being done a favor to buy some fucking inventory that is
but not even up. That, but they're like, you know what, we'll buy 2. That's the craziest part about this. Like, we'll buy like 2 Cybertrucks just so we can blow them up.
Well, you know what?
Because they're so good that we have to see how to blow them up.
That our girl Jen, I watched that episode where she was saying how Elon Musk is secretly abandoning his quest to start a political party. So like maybe he's trying to make nice with KD Vance.
KD Vance, the worm.
The worm. The snake.
Experts previously told Business Insider Cybertruck would be, quote, useless on the battlefield. So wait, who do I believe? The experts or the U.S. military? The Air Force, one of the worst parts of the military, like the bottom of it. Frankly, I don't trust people who fly planes. They're coward. They're unmanly, like Kadyrov said. The electric pickup also faced 8 recalls since its launch for issues including parts falling off and accelerator pedals getting stuck. Musk predicted that Tesla would eventually sell over 250,000 Cybertrucks a year in 2023, but the automaker has only sold 10,700 so far this year.
Oh,
bro! How are you going to make up that other 240,000 Cybertrucks that you got to sell, dude? That's crazy.
That's nuts. That is quite the misstep there. That prediction.
Oh shit, here's another article about the Cybertruck. Apparently the Cybertruck is turning out to be a full-blown disaster. Sales are circling the drain with Elon Musk-led automakers selling a mere 4,306 Cybertrucks in the second quarter of 2025. What? A stunning 50.8% drop over the same period last year. Resale values are cratering as well, with the value of a used Cybertruck plummeting by more than 30% over the span of a year. Even just insuring the stainless steel behemoth is turning into a massive headache. Owners insured through Hanover Insurance are being informed that their policy is being terminated. It's a damning predicament, highlighting just how much of a hot potato the electric pickup has become. Apart from turning into a highly politicized lightning rod, the Cybertruck has proven itself to be inexpensive to repair and issues red lemon. It's a warning sign to the car maker which is already struggling with nosediving demand worldwide and plummeting sales. The news comes after insurer Geico announced last year that it would no longer insure the Cybertruck. Damn, Geico's pulled out.
Geico will insure anything.
Dude?
Yeah, that's like the cheapest insurance there is, isn't it? Isn't it like the whole deal?
I guess
like
so. I guess that's why they're like, we're not fucking with that. It's too complicated.
Yeah. Jesus.
But if Elon Musk is a lizard person and he got betrayed by the Geico lizard, dude, that's lizard on lizard crime, dude. That's crazy.
I didn't even think about that. Didn't put that together. That's crazy.
Owners have long complained of sky-high monthly premiums, reaching almost $1,000 a month in certain cases.
What?
Insurance marketplace Insurify announced earlier this year that the average owner... Wait. That can't be right. It says, well, I mean, the $1,000 a month, but it says the average owner is paying $3,392 a year or $282 a month compared to the national average of $2,336 a month or a year. The truck, which started out as one of Musk's most beloved pet projects, has been mired in controversy for years now. Cracks just started to show early on with an extremely inflated price and terrible range. It's already been hit with 8 recalls. Okay, we already read that part. That's crazy. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that's not good for your boy Elon.
Bad news for Elon Musk's Cybertruck, which is another thing that this show is a foundational element of the show, is making fun of the Cybertruck. So I'm glad we were able to get some of that in. We had to do a little check-in. Remember that one episode where we just barred out on Elon Musk for like the whole show? That was incredible. That was a great day.
It really was.
Say, you know what? You're a bitch. And then we just like we went crazy on his ass.
What a fall.
I have some bad news for me personally. You know, Tony, I've made some lifestyle changes the last couple months, 8 months or so. And there was one thing that I was going to be doing soon that I told you about, and I'm working up to it. This is why I've been increasing 7-8 miles a day, right? I'm going to go on a hike with some friends, and I don't want to be like not prepared, even though it's probably going to be a chill hike. But I got some bad news. California resident tests positive for the plague in Lake Tahoe, which is, by the way, where we were going. So this could have been me, but for my friend being too lazy to sort of work himself into shape for this hike. So it says
Lake Tahoe the plague. You probably lose some weight if you got the plague.
True, but I'm already losing weight and I don't have the plague. So what sort of like
it's nature's Ozempic.
Well, I don't know what the plague does to people. I'm kind of a little baffled that they're just calling it the plague and there's not like a more specific word for it.
It's not bubonic. It's not black. It's not.
It just says the plague. What does that even mean? Article says a Lake Tahoe resident has tested positive for, quote, the plague. California health officials confirmed on Tuesday. The resident is believed to have been bitten by an infected flea while camping in South Lake Tahoe. The infected individual is recovering at home and is receiving medical care, El Dorado County officials said. The plague is naturally present in many parts of California, including higher elevation across El Dorado County. It's important for people to take precaution. But obviously this makes me think, why go hiking if there's a chance I could end up with the plague?
I mean, at the very least, you might get Lyme disease.
Keegan says it's bubonic, and it might be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got that to worry about.
One of the last times I went on a hike, I was here in Montana, in Missoula, and I was hiking up a trail, and I went underneath the tree, and I felt something land on my neck, and I went like this and went like that and grabbed it, and it was a fucking giant tick. It was a giant tick. And if I wouldn't have got it in time, that bitch would have bit me, and I could have got Lyme disease.
You could have got Lyme disease or the fucking plague, dude.
Or the bubonic plague. Well, this was during
actually, no, it just says that there's
no plague
3 types of plagues. Do you know that?
I know bubonic, and I don't know what is black plague also bubonic, or is that something different?
I don't know about that. So we got the bubonic. That's the number one. That's the most goated sort of mainstream plague that you can get. It's kind of like the normie plague. It's kind of like the plague that you get if you're into like Taylor Swift music. You know, you don't want that one. That one would be like you're mid. You're just following trends.
It's the live, laugh, love plague.
There's the septicemic plague. It happens when plague bacteria multiply in the bloodstream. But the buboes, which is part of the bubonic plague, they're nodes apparently, swollen lymph nodes. They don't. They may not be present in this case, but very similar thing. And then there's the pneumonic plague, like
Pneumonia, I've heard of that.
like pneumonia. Yeah, it affects the lungs, but it can spread to the lymph nodes.
That would be horrible. Oh, Keegan says it's apparently it's pretty easy to treat, so that's good.
That's crazy, but you know what? I guess that makes sense because back when people used to get the plague before, it's like they're a bunch of fucking idiots. Yeah. I'm still not going. I'm telling my friends, listen, I refuse to get the plague. I do not want to go out like seeing one of those dudes with the fucking beak masks and like I can't. You know?
Yeah. I'd rather get eaten by a bear than get the plague on a hike. Like if I'm gonna go.
Yeah, at least if it's a bear, it's like, well, he probably tried to fight it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and at least like you're feeding nature or something. Like the bubonic plague, that's just... Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I love nature, but I love it from a distance.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're really splotchy though. It's like freezing. Okay. Yeah, I would say the only thing I really know about the Black Plague is from Interview with the Vampire. That's what they had when they turned Kristen Dunst. Her mom had the plague. Can you hear me?
Okay. That was annoying.
What's
going on? I don't know why my internet has like tanked so radically. It used to be fairly normal.
Ramona's mogging.
Keegan says Ramona's mogging. I don't even know what you mean by it. My connection dropped. Okay. And I don't know why. And it's very frustrating.
You're not even sharing anything.
There's nothing I can do about it. That's what I'm saying. All I did was move my next article over so we could talk about another thing, and it just decides, fuck it. Crashing you. Why? Why, dude? This is crazy. I wanted to talk to you about another element of something that might be happening to me, similar to me getting the plague. Okay? Mm-hmm. There's a new dating term called shrekking. Have you heard about this?
No. What?
It sounds innocent. It's not what you think. So this is from USA Today. Obviously via Yahoo News, which is where I get all my information. There's a new dating trend afoot. Experts say it needs to get sent back to, quote, far, far away. It's called shrekking, but don't be fooled. Though the term derives from the name, though the term derives its name from the wholesome animated film Shrek, in the dating world is anything but charming. Shrekking involves dating someone that you're not attracted to in the hopes that this person will treat you better in return. After all, Princess Fiona took a chance on Shrek, and that turned out great for her, right? Unfortunately, unfortunately, when you get Shreked, it means the person you lowered your standards for still ended up hurting you. As Amy Chan, the dating coach and the author of Breakup Bootcamp, The Science of Rewiring Your Heart, puts it, in this plotline, you're dating an ogre without the princess treatment. Says, the term might be new, but the behavior is not, she says. Plenty of people have put looks lower on the list or hope attraction would grow over time. And that in itself isn't a bad thing. Where it backfires is when someone assumes that just because they're dating down in looks, they'll automatically be treated better. In the fact that the term is even getting used at all, Chan says, speaks to just how complicated dating has become and how frustrated people are with it. The problem with shrekking. Shrekking may be a new addition to the modern dating lexicon, but it's long been a universal experience. We've all been there, one TikToker says in a video. We give the guy we're not attracted to a chance, thinking that he will for sure know that he has to treat what he has and has to treat us well. And then we get traumatized by the whole troll. Oh, by a whole troll. Chan says many young people are feeling disillusioned by dating. Young people, especially, are looking to synthesize their experience and connect with people who've been through something similar. Hence a new vocabulary of dating terms that keeps cropping up. I want to know more about these dating terms. So I'm shrekking when I saw this article. I was like, what does that mean? Like, what could that possibly mean? It's just like, oh, it's like they're dating an ugly person. And I was like, oh, that actually was just called the 90s. That's all anybody did on TV in the 90s. Every time I watched Love Connection, it was like some hot girl dating some ugly motherfucker with a crazy haircut. You know what I mean? This is nuts to me that young people, that these Gen Zers are like reclaiming dating ugly people and like making it a new thing. This is like how they're trying to take the Deftones from me. When it comes to shrekking, the term shines a light on a few problems. First of all, it implies that daters should be able to predict how a potential partner will treat them based on what the person looks like. I love that. Like, now I was like, oh wow, he's so ugly. He must be really nice. It used to be we thought ugly people were awful. That we used to put them in bell towers. It used to be we would throw ugly people down wells because we knew they would have horrible personalities because they were ugly. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Look at Ela Klein. She's hideous. She's one of the ugliest people on earth. And I'm not like, oh, she must be a nice person. I know she's a horrible person because her face.
Yeah, and also look at her partner. She's shrekking while being a Shrek.
They both tried to Shrek in unison, and they've made just a horrible pair, a horrible union. Ela Klein and
an abomination of sorts.
Yeah. Now, from what I understand, they've been putting pictures of their kids online.
Yeah.
I would never call these kids ugly. I'm sure they're adorable. I'm just saying you have an extremely ugly father, extremely ugly mother, inside and out. Like, these kids are on a dangerous path.
I wish them all the best, though. I hope they can.
I wish them all the best too. I don't want like CPS to come take them away because their parents are too ugly. I would never suggest that. However, if it did happen, I would say that's a mitzvah. Keegan says sometimes those ugly genes work out. Sometimes.
Yeah.
When it comes to shrekking, the term shines a new light on a few problems. First of all, implied daters should be able to predict how their partner will treat them based on what the person looks like. In reality, appearances don't reveal someone's character. I don't know. I disagree. I'm usually like, I'm a guy who's gotten very far in life judging books by their covers. You know what I mean?
I'm just waiting for your transition to what I know is coming. So I just.
And anyone who treats you poorly, no matter what they look like, should be seen as unattractive in your eyes, says Emma Hawthorne, a relationship expert from Seeking.com. The other danger of shrekking is that the term may dissuade people from dating outside their usual type out of fear that doing so is sure to end badly. That's also not the case. The idea is you stepped outside your comfort zone, but instead of being rewarded with growth or connection, you wound up regretting the experience, Hawthorne says. When two people are genuinely driven towards a similar goal and values, they can find attraction in each other that surprises them and refutes the shallower factors like physical type and societal expectations. If you fall into this mindset and gotten, quote, shreked, chance is not to give up or go back to dating only people who fall within narrow beauty standards. Wait a minute. I feel like if you're getting shreked, that means you're the one who's like the ugly person.
Yeah, you're the
hot
Shrek.
person. You're not. Yeah. I mean, you probably are ugly too if you're talking about shrekking somebody, but like,
you're ugly on the inside.
If you shrek somebody, they're the ones getting shreked. You are doing the shrekking. You're the shrekker, not the shrekky.
Yeah, because that's like the fact that you would even think that shows that they're even more shallow and horrible than the person who the shrekker or the shrekky. I'm fucking confused. I don't even know. This is like, I'm too old for this shit. Back then, you know what we called this back then? Remember that movie we watched? It's a dogfight.
Oh, the dogfight.
This is a dogfight.
That's a good movie, by the way. I think it's on the Criterion. It's in the Criterion collection now. Yeah. Another thing, by the way, which we were early on, we both were like, "Wait a minute, this movie's brilliant." Like River Phoenix is really good, and Lily Taylor is really good. And like,
Also, though, she's an attractive woman, so she's
yeah,
not
she's an
ugly.
attractive woman, but in the movie, she's a dog.
Sure. Compared to River
But he
Phoenix,
was
she was a dog.
he was shrekking
River
her though.
Phoenix. Yeah, River Phoenix he was a god.
You know,
Visually stunning. So
River Phoenix is like the Austin Butler of his day. Just a
really is.
unassailably attractive man. And we're not gay or anything, but we're just like, look at this man, very attractive. I might watch a Darren Aronofsky movie for him. That looks annoying, but I might.
But he's wearing a Giants hat. So
he's wearing a Giants hat, which I'm not a Giants fan, but obviously, like, I like the idea of it.
Yeah, representing the Bay.
Yeah. I'm a fallen A's fan. I'm a Ports fan, as you can see by my hat. I got the sailor holding an asparagus, sort of classic Ports shit.
Classic Shrek attire, if I might say so myself.
Oh my god. If you fall into this mindset and gotten Shrek, chances not to give up and go back to dating only people who follow within your narrow beauty standards. Instead, she says, it's an opportunity to get even clearer on what your non-negotiables are for a partner, no matter what they might look like. For those who've been Shrek, the goal isn't to retreat back to only dating conventionally attractive people. It's to develop better assessment skills for character, values, emotional availability, regardless of what package they may come in. Chan says,
go even uglier. That's what you do.
Go uglier.
Go uglier.
Try to find the Lily Taylor, not like actual Lily Taylor, but like in that movie, the Lily Taylor. Just try to find the ugliest person. Physical attraction matters in romantic relationships, but it shouldn't be the inverse predictor of good treatment that some people assume it to be. So you said, how could this affect me, Tony? Well, I'm saying it right here on this podcast. A few weeks ago, I became in a committed relation. I entered a committed relationship. I am a Shrek. I'm being Shrekied, This person's like, I've been with other people before. This guy's so ugly. And his personality might be like make up for it. It might be like a Daredevil thing where like he's blind, but all of his other senses are good. Like I'm ugly, but like maybe I'll be like funny and smart and caring. Remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen. Jury's out.
Remains to be seen. But I've been having a good time, and we share things on this show that we talk, we're going through, and this is the thing I'm going through now. It's very interesting though, because I haven't been in a relationship in a while, and I've been so used to being alone and like not miserable is not the right word, but just alone, right? Like I'm like I could just do this forever. I don't really care. I don't need companionship. My mind is a mountain, like the Deftones song. You know what I mean? But I have to admit, it's very nice. It's very nice, Adam says, you're a swell-looking chap, Ramon. I'm Shrek himself.
Hey man, you're an all-star. Get your game on.
Oh yeah. You shout out R.I.P. Steve Harwell. Another Bay Area legend, another Giants fan. I think I might have been an A's fan. Anyhow, it's very interesting. She likes old movies, so like we went and saw Sunset Boulevard. We went and saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre the other night. Very, very nice. You know what made me realize though is like, so like I like old movies, right? And like I would love to go watch more old movies, but where I live, sort of like suburban area, like we don't have like old movie theaters that play old movies like that. So like, the best you can do is hope for like one of these Fathom events or like these little showings around, which now like I found old movies, but they're like Free Willy and the Ninja Turtles. And I'm like, that's not what I mean by old movies. You know what I mean? I want to see like other Sunset. I want to see Casablanca. I want to see things like that, but it's like
The Apartment.
I want to see, yes, The Apartment. Thank you. Another Billy Wilder movie. I want to see, any number of things. I want to watch a Western in a movie theater. But, it's like capitalism has made it so cinema is like this disgusting thing now. Unless you want to see, I don't know, Weapons, which I hear is good. But I'm still booing Weapons. Because I don't want to see Weapons. I want to see a good old movie. I want to see The Exorcist. I want to see The Night of the Hunter. But it is, it is fun. It is an interesting dilemma. And it was one that like we talked about before, like, I just said okay, because the thing is, like, the first date wasn't really a date; it was kind of just like a hangout. And then I found out she was single midway through, and I was like, oh shit, this is weird. Like, I guess this might kind of be a date, but I didn't want to, because I'm like, well, I'm on this whole journey. Like, I've got walking to do, I've got work to do. I have one of the fastest growing podcasts on YouTube to shepherd. I don't have time for all that.
Yeah.
And then, it's like, well, I guess I can make time. I guess we could try to make this work. So, it was an interesting. It's an interesting life development for me. So if anybody notices that, like, I'm happier, or, like, I'm less angry all the time, I guess another way to say happier, like, it might be because of that. There's good things happening, and I'm excited about it. So I thought we would talk a little bit about it on the show.
Yeah,
because I might be getting Shrek'd.
It's always a chance, but
it's possible.
It's possible.
55-45 DraftKings.
What's the over-under on you getting Shrek'd?
We're willing to take bets on this. You know what I mean? We can figure that. We can get to the bottom of this thing.
It's not a non-zero chance, I will say. It's
non-zero.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think like I told you, I think it'd be good for you.
I think
whatever happens.
The thing is, like, I was saying, like, I just got so anxious about everything, like, of how it could go wrong. Like, I was like, oh no, like, this is here's all the pitfalls. I'm not gonna bother. Why devote any energy to it when I know it's just gonna end up failure anyways? But you know what? She had actually asked me out like 3 years ago, and at that time, she asked me out, and I said the same thing. I said, no, I'm depressed. Don't need anybody in my life. Don't want to bring anybody into all this mess that I've got going on. Won't have time to dedicate to it. Blah, blah, blah. And then when she started seeing the other person, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I was like, why not me? You know what I mean? And then I realized, like, in all that time, like, first of all, she asked me, and I said no. But in all that time, I had made no steps, like, to fix anything. You know what I mean? And so now I've started making those steps, and I'm like, I don't want to derail this, Yeah.
Well, like I told you, this might actually improve those steps and make those steps go faster. And
it literally has done that. The literal steps. Because, I go on walks now, and instead of it being like however many miles, I'm like, I want to walk extra. I want to do, like, more. I want to push myself further. Since I'm pushing myself in this other place, I'm going to push myself over here too. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it's a weird thing to be sort of like mildly depressed and like numb for so long, and then just like kind of snap out of it one day. And it wasn't like when I started dating her. It was like before that. It was also like when I realized, like, oh my God, like, I'm making good progress, and I'm not thinking about, like, I'm not so anxious all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the exercise, I think that has all to do with the exercise.
Yeah.
Burn all that anxiety away,
Yeah, it goes back to a thing that we talked about again, like, early on in the show. Like, you were like, you told me that wisdom that you got from your mom, where she said, like, I don't want to spend all the time worrying or whatever, like, she wish she didn't. And, it was a similar thing where I'm like, this could be so fucking bad. And I've been friends with this person for a long time. So I'm like, I could potentially just, like, completely ruin that. But so far, so good. So obviously, I've made some horrible mistakes.
We won't get into that. You don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I think we should, because it's just a funny anecdote at this point. So the other day, look,
it's your relationship, is what you want to.
Okay, you know what? You're telling me no, I'm going to pump the brakes on it.
Yeah, maybe keep a little bit to yourself.
I'll keep a little bit to myself. I just think it was a funny incident where I've a classic foot and mouth type situation.
Basically, just like saying, I'll paraphrase it, or I'll summarize it.
Yeah, you go ahead. Give them.
In a tender, sweet moment, Ramon opened his mouth and did a bit.
Yeah.
And ruined the tender moment. But you recovered, you rallied, you made up for it, and it's all good. But it's kind of, I'll take it. It's like a rookie mistake, It's
It
like,
is, yeah. Well, I told Tony about it, and our other friends, because I was like, you won't believe the stupid shit that I did today. Like, I'm like, it was a great day. Everything was going great. I wouldn't even say the whole thing. Adam says, "Wait, is Ramon telling us he know I'm dating Jenna Ortega?" No, wrong. The phrasing of this is weird, but it says, "Is this how Ramon is telling us that he knows Jenna Ortega isn't dating Tommy Lee Jones because he's dating Jenna Ortega?" No. However, I do know that Tommy Lee Jones is not dating Jenna Ortega. Like, it's not because of that. Those are two irrelevant things. They're two circles that are not related, just like the pedophiles and the minors.
You cannot prove that they aren't dating. It's
yeah. But yeah, we don't have to get into specifics, but I do want to say that the reason why the bit was so funny was in that tender moment. The context of it was we're at the movie to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a beautiful day out, unlike today, which is miserable. That day was beautiful. We're sitting down. There's a pond. There's ducks. There's 90s music playing. The sun is going down. And I'm like, this is such a great moment. Like, it's like we're in the 90s. It's like I'm complaining about Bill Clinton and NAFTA. Like, I'm talking about the fall of Yugoslavia.
If only that was the only thing we had to complain about politically. That'd be amazing.
I know, but I'm saying, like,
yeah,
these are, if I'm in the 90s, these are the things that are on my mind. You know what I mean?
You're worrying about Y2K. You're like, oh, dude, everything backed up.
This is the music had fallen out of this is like 1993.
Oh man, I was a junior in high school. Yeah. This is.
And so, like, I'm such in that zone, but I'm just like, and she's going along with it. So that's why I was like, this is a great time to do a bit. Horrible time to do a bit. What are the worst things? What are the worst? Like, it's it may haunt me. It was not good, but it was funny, and that's that's the thing that we're talking about. Where it's like, one thing I really have to work on is, like, maybe save funny for the show.
Well, like you said, like, she likes. I think part of the reason she probably, amongst other things, is she likes you is your sense of humor. So
the Shrekking aspect.
Why is she Shrekking you is because your sense of humor. So you don't want to.
Yeah. I can't tamper myself too down, but I
mean, you want to be a cold fish, but
in place, probably.
Yeah,
that was the bad. That was the bad time. It was the bad.
You're not with your boys. You're not with your friends. It's.
Yeah. It was a mistake.
Yeah. Well, you learn from it, and we grow, and that's
right.
That's it.
What else are they going to say about that whole situation? Not, I mean, that situation, but like, the one problem, the real issue, which relates to this podcast. She is a Raider fan.
That's a problem.
Now, doesn't really care about football that much, but her dad was a Raider fan, and so there's sort of like these, issues where it's
sentimental attachments to it.
I get it, and I'm like saying, I'm like, what if you just wore one of my 49er hats? Not because you're a fan, just because you're just wearing a hat. You know what I mean? Who cares what the hat says?
I will say, Kika says she had an out. I will say, if my partner was a fan of a team, no, that's a step too far. That's being like if she was that's like if she was a Seahawks fan. That'd be a different thing.
Is worse. This is way worse.
Because hear me out.
They're not in our division, but they're like, that's way worse. People got into fights over here over this stuff.
I get it, but they're now in Vegas. They're not in the same area. They're in the other conference, and the Raiders are garbage. So it's not like you're ever going to worry about them like being a threat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if, like, say my partner was a fan of like the Washington Commanders,
the Commanders,
and
sure.
Kami, hands up, and we went to a sports bar to watch a Kami's game, and then Dolphins weren't playing, I'd wear a Kami's hat for her.
That's great. Well, that's great, but like this isn't that, because there is all this extra stuff behind it. Keegan says trash team, trash city. Keegan, I forget what team you're a fan of. I can't remember. Type it in the chat. I want to know. I'm curious.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I'm like trying to be like, listen, like she said, like if the Niners were playing the Raiders and I wore a Raider jersey, would like you be mad? I was like, I wouldn't be happy. I'd be very upset about it.
You know what though? You gotta love people for who they are. So you gotta
I
have to
do,
like,
yeah. If
yeah,
she's
you
gonna
gotta be
accept
like,
me for all of my faults, I have to accept her
yeah.
for this horrible, horrible thing
I
that
mean,
she's
if
chosen
she
to.
forgave you for your fucking snafu the other day, then you might as
Yeah.
well.
But the thing is, like, she genuinely could give a shit less about football. Like that
Oh,
day when
yeah.
we were hanging out, the Niners beat the Raiders preseason. Shout out. Keegan says, growing up it was Broncos. Now I'm kinda orphaned because I look like a bandwagoner when they won. Oh shit! I feel like you should have just doubled down. You
Yeah,
should have said I'm a diehard. I've never, you know,
yeah. Prove
and you
me
don't have to
wrong.
worry about being a bandwagoner now. That team is in hell again.
They made the playoffs last year. They're not. I could see it
Yeah.
happening. I put them in. I could see it happening for them.
Oh shoot! I knew this was to say. He said, "Now I don't know. I like to say go Birds." That's crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
I was afraid of being a bandwagoner, so I'm gonna root for the Eagles in 2025.
might as well be a Laker fan or who won the NBA? A Thunder fan.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy to be like. I don't want to be seen as a bandwagoner, so I'm just gonna root for the last team to win the Super Bowl. The fuck?
he
Um,
said. He says I'm too many California teams to pick one. I'm randomly in the middle of the state to commit.
okay,
You
that's
know
fair.
what? You should be a Chargers fan because they need fans. They
Yeah,
don't have any.
but the same could be said of the Rams. You know, I'm serious. That's a team
I
that
believe you. Yeah.
that's like an industry plant team. I don't even know how that. I don't even know how like. I genuinely don't know how the Rams exist as an organization. You know what I mean? Like they have to be somewhere, so I guess they're there. But like nobody cares about the Rams, and they've won Super Bowls and they've been good for like a few years now. And like they're still like every time I see a person with a Rams hat, I just think like they're a pod person. Like they're not a real human being. They're just like faking it for like I don't know
My
why.
sister my sister in Venice Beach was a Raiders fan, and then when they moved, she's now a Rams fan.
Mm, she's part of the Ramily.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, your sister is a pod person.
Yeah, she's also a Dodgers fan, so like
Yeah, there we go.
she's LA. She's LA
There
born
you
and
have
bred.
it. Yeah. Keegan says I could probably claim the 49ers, but I like to talk shit to my 49er friends too much. That's valid.
Yeah, I feel that. I can sympathize with that.
You know, when I was in, so by the way, I've known her for a long time. So like when I was in high school, I was a Niner fan, but I was also a fan of the Buccaneers because I'm not sure we talked about this. I think we have talked about this on the show. But me and my friends used to play Blitz, and I hated losing with the Niners. So I was just like, I'm not going to use the Niners because I don't want to see them lose. I'll
Mm-hmm.
use the Bucks. And then what happened is I was like, oh, this guy Mike Alstott's the fucking man. He's my
He's
favorite
the
guy.
A
You know,
train.
like yeah. So I just became a huge fan of Mike Alstott. And then they beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl, as you remember. So
Mm-hmm.
her dad saw me one time, you know, talking and was like, "There's something wrong with him. Like he's rooting for the wrong team and shit." You know, I had on the Alstott post Super Bowl.
it's like
Brutal.
it's like, dude, you can't even spell Tampa. What are you doing?
but we yeah, but it was that's the one thing where I'm like, this could be trouble down the line. Just like, it's
She
me. It's not
is
really.
she
I don't
is she into basketball?
Warriors fan, but like
Oh, that's
no,
good.
like no, but like the same familial thing as like Warriors. So
Gotcha. Well, you got that going.
in the clear, in the clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you know, baseball is dead to me.
Yeah.
So
What's baseball?
yeah,
Padres or go home.
a shout out to the Padres. Although as you can see, I'm a Stockton Ports fan, so not
Yeah.
all baseball. You know, just the major leagues.
I'm a Missoula Paddleheads fan, if I had to pick one.
Hmm.
I got a cool hat I need to get. It's like of a moose in the inner tube floating down the river.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like things are going really good with that. You know, it's not why we've had to misschedule anything. Like, you know, we talked about your thing last week and it was so fucking hot the week before that. I've been, you know, just sort of working around it. And I love doing this show. And like actually when we started doing it today, it was like really hot outside. So I was like, this might be brutal. I might be sweating my ass off during the show. But I feel like we had an incredible show today. I feel like this has been one of our better efforts. One story linked to the next. I feel like we were like, whoa, like we're naturally good at podcasting, you know? So like you know.
We were gonna only do like an hour, you said, and then we were going for like an hour 45 right now. So
oh no, I said we were like 2 hours probably, but yeah, okay. the same. Yeah, we have some good content planned too. So like, I want to do all that stuff, but I just wanted to say thank you for joining us, especially this week because it's our big comeback week from 2 weeks off.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah. But
you got a big thing this weekend at Cape and Cal, right?
Yeah, so I want to talk about a couple of things. Cape and Cal is this weekend, which will be great. I'm going to be there with Skinner, my boy Justin Greenwood, my boy Henry Barajas. Patton Oswald will not be there. America's Funny Man, who, by the way, so when I took my girlfriend to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
your fiance.
She's not. No. Hold on a second. You're getting ahead of yourself. When I took her to see this movie, by the way, she's not a fan of like horror movies like that. She doesn't like slasher movies. She doesn't like stuff. So I'm like, no. This is different though, because this one's art. This one means a lot to me, right? So movie ends. I'm like, what'd you think? She's like, I give it like a 5 out of 7. So I'm like, okay, that's respectable. It actually said 5.3, but I said on the 7 scale, we don't do decimals, right? She's like, I give like a 5 out of 7. And she's like, I liked it, but like the brutality was like just too much for her. Okay, but I'm like, let me explain to you why I like it. And I just go into like how it's like this metaphor for the disillusionment of the 1970s where American, young people started waking up to the fact that all these structures of the US like government and culture that they grew up in, it was all lies. Like we were in Vietnam, Richard Nixon was doing what Richard Nixon was doing. Like all of the truth about American imperialism was laid bare as like this farce, horrible, rotting bullshit. And that's manifested in this movie where all these kids are driving across America and they get stuck in this small town. And there's this little family that's like this little family of dudes, this like little patriarchal, distilled society where every one of the guys is like some failed version of masculinity in some way. Like, the drifter, the grandpa, the dad, Leatherface, they're all fucked up in these like crucial ways where they're not real men, but they're all pretending to be in some way. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and then how that expresses itself is just through violence and chaos and misery and like terror. And, there's no humor in it. It's just mostly this like this weird, violent, horrible, dark poem that like has these crazy cosmic sinister vibes. So I'm like, I'm waxing poetic about it. But after the movie, they did a preview of this movie called Chain Reactions. And at the end of it, Patton Oswalt is in it talking about like why he loves Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And he's just giving bad take after bad take. And I'm just like, people are so dumb. Like he was saying like in that movie, it's like the sun is making people go insane and they're going insane all over the world. And we're just seeing one little small town where people have gone insane. And I'm like, that is not what that movie's about at all. You know what I mean? He's like, it's the solar radiation just driving people crazy. And he's like talking about how like Leatherface never killed anybody before what we see in the movie. I'm like, no, he had like beyond the dead bodies he dug up, they were eating people already.
Yeah, there was plenty of carcasses all over that movie.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? Like you thought all those people were dug up? That's crazy.
Yeah, some of them were fresh.
Like, yeah. So like he's talking about like this shit where he's just like writing fan fiction about the movie. And I'm like, no. This is the problem with media literacy. This is how people end up believing that AI, Jenna Ortega is dating Tommy Lee Jones, like this is crazy. Like you need to like, people need to like learn how to process film and literature and news in a good way. And that's what we're doing here on the show.
We're helping you digest.
We're just saying, you know what? Here's the proper takes on everything. If somebody disagrees with us, they're wrong. Shun them from your life.
Yeah.
You don't need to talk to those people anymore.
We will be your comic unks. Is that what the kids are saying?
This is not a comics podcast, though.
Oh well, you're
We're just
not
general unks. We're the #1 unk podcast. Made for other old men like us. Shout out to old men. This is really sort of a space for old people to commiserate about how bad things are. We're like those two old Muppets. That's kind of the vibe we're doing right now.
Yeah, totally.
But when I saw that thing, I was so irritated. So I'm like, all the beautiful ramblings you could do about this movie, and he's just giving garbage take after garbage take. I was disappointed in old Patton.
It can't all be home runs, you know. Sometimes.
Yeah. But Stephen King, I hope he's got something good to say on the other parts of that Chain Reaction movie. I might watch it, but probably not right away.
Yeah, well, you know, you might get something out of it. You know, might raise your blood pressure.
Yeah. I did the same thing with, like, you know, when we saw Sunset Boulevard. I was really, I think that's part of the Shrekking thing. It's like, wow, he's kind of ugly, but he's got really great film takes. he's really processing this movie deeper than most people.
Adam says we're the Unksphere podcast leaders. I like that, Adam. We're gonna steal that. The Unksphere.
The Unksphere. Oh, so yes, Cape and CowCon this weekend. It's gonna be great. It's on Sunday from like 9 to 6 or 11 to 6 p.m. But I believe it's free. So like if you're in the Bay Area, come by. You know, last year I saw my guy Salt there. It was incredible. Maybe I'll see him again this year. And then, I was kind of bummed because I wanted to have my zine ready. I'm working on my zine and I'm very inspired on it right now. But I've been also working on a short for Bad Idea that is like nearly done. Which, on the subject of Bad Idea, they announced today that the deluxe edition of They're All Terrible, which is issues 1 and 2, will be out in October, the first week of October, like October 1st or 2nd or whatever. It's going to be in all stores. It's no longer like Bad Idea exclusive retailers. It's going to be 48 pages. It's beautiful, beautiful art. I got to say, like, I'm not just, yeah. And it looks fucking awesome. And then after that, people are like, oh, so then when are the other two come out? Are they done? They've been done for years. Or at least like a year and a half or something. It's been done for a while. So like those two are already in the can. They're all ready to go. But the new deluxe edition has a whole new cover, which I did with like this guy with his fucking head cut off or whatever. And then the other two, they've been done for a while. But I'm super proud of the book. So, you know, if anybody wants to get the book, like, go get it. You can get it now very easy. Before, it was kind of a pain in the ass. But now I think any comic shop can order it. And it's going to be awesome to see it all out there because I really put like a ton of time, energy into that book. So, like, you know, it was kind of a bummer that it took this long for the last 2 issues to come out. But on the other hand, it's really cool that now it's going to be out in a way that everybody can read it, you know? So there's that. There's also my buddy Henry Barajas, who I mentioned earlier. He has a comic coming out called Death of a Pachuco through, I think, Top Cow. And I did a variant cover for that, which got announced today. So that's my plugs.
Hell yeah. I gotta say, that book looks amazing. They're All Terrible.
Thank you.
Looks great.
I'm sort of shrekking the world with that one. Horrible person, but wow, what a beautiful sort of thing I'm able to create. And also, when my zine comes out, make sure to, I'm going to make it very easy to read by just, like, I guess putting it on Patreon or something, but like minimum tier, if people want to support this show and those comics. I want to start putting out, as I finish them, the shorts not collected, and then put it in a PDF. So if you want to like read it as a PDF, the way it'll be sequenced. But I'm thinking about just putting out story by story as I start finishing them up, and then also like because of this one, like my approach to this zine, Tony, and I don't know if we've talked about this at all, but like I have like 5 different stories, and I'm just gonna pick the best 3 and put it. Yeah, the zine will be purchasable online, like a physical copy, but it also is going to be purchasable just on our Patreon, like, or my Patreon. You just go there, pay like $1 or whatever, and then that's it, as a PDF. But like the physical one, I will be mailing them out at some point once I print them and everything. But I care less about that than the putting it out. But the zine though, right now I'm settled on I think some of the other stories, like which 3 are going to be in it. But I also have like other ones that are half done, so those might just be like bonus on the side that are not in the printed one or just not in the PDF, just to keep it whatever. But I've got a lot of things cooking with the zine, and I'm very excited about it. I'm very inspired right now for obvious reasons, And like frankly, the first zine came out because I was so like just in my own head about everything, And I remember thinking like I just got to get some of this shit out, like about romance and politics and all this stuff. So like the first one felt like I had to do it that way, like just personal comics that are like still genre-y because I can't help myself. Whoa, Keegan says withhold the extras until the 176 Kickstarter hardcover. I don't know about that. I've only tried to do one Kickstarter before and it failed miserably. but no, the zine is a great expression. Comics are awesome. I'm falling in love with comics again. I'm very happy right now.
Good.
Yeah. Maybe next week I'll be miserable again. But right now, I'm good. How are you doing, Tony? Are you?
I have. I'm coloring a book that I drew a couple years ago with my collaborator David Crispino. It's a barbarian sex magic book with sword and sorcery called Of Death and Stone, and we're going to do a Kickstarter sometime this year. Yeah, nice. Go follow me on Instagram because I post stuff from it, and then when we launch the Kickstarter, of course I'll talk about it here, and then I'll talk about there. So there's that, and also this weekend I have a bunch of sketch covers that I did that I'm gonna sell. So if you follow me on Instagram, like at Tony Gregory on Instagram, I'm gonna post those, and if anyone's interested, they can hit me up there, and I will gladly sell them to you. And I'm flexible with pricing, So
hell yeah.
And go follow Gungnir Publishing because it's GUNGNIR. I might have done some work for them that's going to be announced soon, and they're a boutique publisher who just announced a graphic novel with everyone's favorite podcaster Bobby Lee. They're doing a graphic novel with him, and
I'm not going to say anything. Withholding, I'm not going to.
Yeah. But they've done other stuff. They do stuff with my buddy Steve Orlando. He's an editor over there.
Oh, he is. Shout out. I just thought he got married, I think, right?
You just got married to his husband.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Steve.
Congratulations
to my buddy Christoph Bogax. He's a writer from Australia. I did the Rick and Morty New Year's Eve special with. He just got married to his partners. They just got married to their partner as well. So shout out to them.
Love is in the air, baby.
Love is in the air. So yeah, that's and fuck Greg Gianforte, you fucking bitch.
Fuck Greg Gianforte, you're a bitch. We hate you, Greg. There was one other thing I was gonna say. Oh, shout out to Ibrahim who defeated the Chileans.
Our boy, he did it.
He was doing this like, whatchamacallit?
Yeah, it was like the bake sale.
Kickstarter. Like Kickstarter, like humanoids was like, oh, we want to see who gets the most follows on these Kickstarter things. Mm-hmm. And I think they set him up to lose because it's like, oh, it's all these big names, and then it's just you. And Ibrahim said, nah, I'm gonna win. Yeah. And partially because of the New Cool Meat Army. He did.
The New Cool Meatheads.
There's like the New Cool Meatheads. We came in strong. We said, the people of Chile, no. This is like
tell us our ass.
This is like 9/11 all over again. The first 9/11, where America, the CIA overthrew the Chilean government when they killed Salvador Allende. This is the opposite of that, though. It's like we sort of did the. It's nothing like 9/11. Anyways, thank you very much for joining us. Oh, yeah, Adam, by the way, first thing is available, newcoolmeat.com. But thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Keegan says all out bots. No, you're the bot, dude. You're the NPC. But thank you very much, and we'll catch you next week. Make sure to like and subscribe. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.